you work on your good days. Maybe it's the ability to soldier through the bad days that makes a champion. At round 7 of the AMA Toyota Motocross in Colorado, guts and determination were all James Stewart was running on. With torn and tight muscles, Stewart only wanted to come out with some points, but left with his first win after 2 cautious but consistent motos. Still healing, Stewart comes to round 8 in Washington looking to extend his points lead. It's all next on Speed. The 2007 AMA Toyota Motocross Championship presented by FMF comes to Washougal Motocross Park for the Unbound Energy Washougal Motocross National, round 8 of the 2007 season. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside multi-time Motocross National Champion Jeff Emig, these crazy guys, and Aaron Bates, who'll be working down in the pits for us. Obviously a lot of Kevin Windham fans, and Andrew Short fans as well. Well, this morning, a lot of the focus was on James Stewart, who sported looks like one of the new Lee neck braces for the first time.
As this first time, you know that he's ridden with it in practice at home if he's going to come and ride with it here at the event, but he eventually took it off for the second practice. Looks like if James is going to wear that in competition, he's going to need a little more time at home to get used to something like that.
Some discussion with the Kawasaki mechanics about the motorcycle. James would start to get ready for moto number 1. Here's a look at the points. Stewart has the lead, but Carmichael's not running all the races.
Yeah, but take a look at Tim Ferry, Andrew Short, Mike Alessi, all these riders in a tight points battle, really putting on some good rides this summer.
Let's check in now with Aaron Bates for a Progressive Direct pre-race report.
That's right, guys. Silly season is upon us. A lot of rumors and speculation as to what's going to take place in the 2008 season. Well, even though things aren't totally official, this is what we can tell you. With 2 spots opening up with Ricky Carmichael leaving factory, Makita Suzuki and Ivan Tedesco leaving as well, David Vuillemin will be filling in one of those positions. The other one is still up in the air. Rumors of Mike Alessi possibly pulling onto that team as well. Also, with those positions being open, that leaves room for Honda. Ben Townley moving over to Honda up into the 450 bike as well, including his new teammate, Ivan Tedesco, for next season. Things at Kawasaki are going to remain the same as for right now. A couple of changes going to be made as far as the KTM. It's now going to be factory KTM MDK team, which means Nick Way will be along with those guys as well. Guys, things are still up in the air. A lot of changes are being made this year. Keep your eyes peeled. See what's coming up next.
All right, Aaron, thanks. As we get set now for moto number 1, show you the highlights as the gate dropped on this one.
That Washougal start, biting some of the riders early. Big group of guys down, didn't even make it to the first turn.
James Stewart did, however, with the whole shot, and the number 7 started to pull away.
That's the way you want to start the day. When you have a bit of an injury to the body, you want to make it as easy as you can on yourself.
Andrew Short in second, Gabe's chase, and then Stewart goes down, and a whole bunch of riders go past. He finally cuts them off with Grant Langston. So Short out in the lead, Windham running in second, Tim Ferry trying to catch up to his teammate as Stewart moved back into third.
Great rides out of Andrew Short this summer. He just keeps getting better each and every moto, each week, and Kevin Windham, of course, one of the old dogs out there doing what he's always done. Just been awesome.
Stewart, his body looking a lot smoother than it did a week ago. Wow, look at the move he makes on Windham there to take over second. Because last week in Colorado, very stiff and tired in the way he was riding.
Well, Stewart's body may not be perfect, but his racing mind is just as sharp as what it's ever been.
Catches up to the backside of Andrew Short. And then set his sights on taking the lead away from the number 29. And as you mentioned, Jeff, Andrew Short, after being injured through most of the Supercross season, each and every week since he got back on top of that motorcycle, it's just gotten better and quicker. Eventually, Stewart would get around to retake the lead from the 29 of Short.
Well, and Short just keeps building that foundation. He keeps getting a little better, a little stronger, and a little faster each and every week. Great starts here like he had in the first motor at Washougal always help.
Stewart's teammate, Tim Ferry, will get his Kawasaki going. He got around Windham, and then he too went after the Honda-mounted Short.
Week after week, Tim Ferry becomes a standout in this class. He has just really been solid and strong, very focused. Has had to ride from behind up to the front in each moto, but definitely proved that he is one of the premier riders this year.
The fight for second in moto number 1 would go to Tim Ferry. Ferry said he's been doing so much training with James Stewart that a lot of that riding with his teammate has made a big difference in his riding as well. Learned a lot from chasing number 7 around.
Well, I tell you, there is no faster motocross rider on the planet than James Stewart. The guy is just so quick, just incredible. So that teamwork that the Monster Energy Kawasaki guys are doing together has really propelled them to be the top team this summer.
And it put James Stewart to the top step of the podium after moto number 1. Here are our Toyota trucks results from moto number 1. Langston in 4th, Mike Alessi in 5th, and Windham went all the way back to 6th. Let's head down to the top step of the podium and check in with Aaron Bates with our winner, James Stewart.
James Stewart battered and bruised still from last weekend and learning a tough way of how tricky this track really is and how slick it is. James, is this one of those tracks that you kind of have to slow down in order to go a little bit faster?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Got a good start and just tipped it over in the first lap over there, and it was just a mistake on my part. I was struggling a little bit. I was trying to override the track a little bit, but later on towards the race, I kind of just slowed down. But just go out to second moto, try to do the same thing.
Slow down a little bit, but your lap times are a little bit slower than maybe what we're used to seeing with you. Are you back feeling 100% yet?
I think I'm feeling a lot better than I did last weekend. It's hard not being able to train during the week and come out here and race, but I'm giving it all I got, so we'll see.
James will take a short break, as will we, and we'll be right back with moto number 2. For 2 wheels in your blood? Well, now you can get all the breaking news, in-depth analysis, and more with the Motorcycle Racing Report, only at SpeedTV.com. Keyword Green, presented by Kawasaki. Some of the beautiful countryside near Washougal, Washington. We're at the Washougal Motocross Park. This is round 8 of the 2007 AMA Toyota Motocross Championship Series.
Come to an AMA Motocross, it's no doubt that Toyota is one of the official sponsors here, but just to show you what kind of involvement they have, I'm here with Toyota representative Kevin Schrotz. Kevin, you guys have a fleet of vehicles behind us. What exactly do you have taking place?
We have 8 the new Tundras. These are the Tundras with the big 5.7 V8 in them, and these are brand new, and it's a chance for everybody who's coming into the race to not have to walk up the hill. You can actually jump in a Tundra, drive it up yourself, and put all your stuff in the back, your family inside, and see what the Tundra is all about.
Now, you've got a lot of people lined up for this event just to take a ride up to the top of the hill. We've seen a ton of banners, a ton of logos, but you guys are much more involved also as far as the amateur program goes.
That's exactly right. We're actually getting to the kind of the meat of that for the rest of the season. We have the Toyota Amateur Athlete Program, and we're going to Loretta Lynn's next week, and we're going to take one rider out of Loretta's, and we're going to give them a pro ride on the Star Yamaha racing team.
One of the many fun things to do when you come to an AMA National, and getting ready for a National is never fun. Mike Alessi feeling the pressure. James Stewart sporting the red riding gear now for moto number 2.
Each rider has their own pre-race ritual that they go through, the way that they get focused and they funnel all of their concentration down to the drop of the gate. Mike Alessi, you've seen him there with his head down, had his iPod on, listening to some music or something encouraging to get him focused.
Here's our format: 40 riders in the gate, 2 motos, 30 minutes plus 2 laps. 20 riders in each moto scoring points. Best overall total will be our overall winner. So how'd you get focused?
Well, I definitely had my own routine, but I'd get on the bike from the left side to the right. I would stretch the same way, and all that, all those little things are all trigger points to help you concentrate and focus on the gate drop.
Ah, so you're superstitious.
Superstitious a little bit, yeah.
There are the 40 riders lined up in the gate. And let's take you now to our starting grid as we get set to begin Moto number 2 from Washougal. Here is our Suzuki starting grid. We saw Kevin Windham get a good start in Moto number 1, but he dropped back. Jeff, do you think he can rebound here in Moto number 2?
Well, I think a good start is definitely going to help him out on a track like this. A lot of those riders are running pretty close to the same speed. We've seen the first moto was really tight, so it's anybody's chance to win the second moto and win the overall.
And maybe Andrew Short can eventually stay in front of James Stewart and take the win here in Moto number 2.
Well, he's got a great shot. He got 20 points in the first moto, placing third. That's a good start to the day.
Final adjustments, final superstitions being played out as we get ready to drop the gate on Moto number 2. The Honda Skycam giving us this great view from up above. Here we go. Crash before turn number 1, but Windham with another great start is out front with Davi Millsaps running in second on the 118.
And boy, are the Honda boys back this summer. They were absent from Supercross with a lot of injuries. Davi Millsaps back up front with another good start.
Not a good start for James Stewart, however. Stewart buried deep in the field. Grant Langston on the Yamaha, number 8 in blue, runs in third.
And Langston there on the Yamaha spoiling the Honda party. We have Andrew Short in 4th place right now. That would have been Honda's 3 top riders all up in the top 4.
And Makita Suzuki mounted Ivan Tedesco in there as well. But where is Stewart?
This is that tight section after you jump down the hill.
There he is. There's James. Look at how far back he is. And he's getting caught up in all of this mess as he tries to work his way through.
That is a really tight section there. Those turns are, it's really hard to get these 450 machines turned around. That left and that tight right.
Langston now up to second, getting around Millsaps, but trying to catch up to Windham.
Okay, now when the riders come by the starting line area, that's where the pit board area with the mechanics are. These riders more than likely are going to get a signal from the mechanics. Hey, the number 7 bike is way back. What that would do for me is that would really bring up, you know, that would encourage me to let it all hang out this second moto. If Stewart's buried back in the pack, I got a chance to win this thing.
Good opportunity to steal one away from the very dominant James Stewart. Continuing to watch the battle for the lead.
Kevin Windham with a great start here in the second moto, and that's Mike Alessi.
Alessi is down on the Red Bull KTM.
And he went down in a bad spot, Ralph. Look, he has to, look how many riders went by, about a dozen riders went by before he could even get the bike turned around and get back remounted.
Stewart, by the way, listed in 17th position. That's a long way to go to catch these two.
And in this track, typically, it's kind of hard to pass on, you know, if there's a lot of riders that are running strong right now.
Oh, Langston takes the lead away.
Nice move by Grant Langston. Typically, riders will go around the outside there, not the inside, but he found a little room to squeeze by.
Here's James Stewart watching the rider in green, working his way up through the field. And he just gets around Jeff Alessi, Mike's brother. And looks like he's going to try to pick off another one in the process before the next corner. Jeff, adding to the problems for James Stewart is the fact that, as he's admitted, he is not 100% still, has not had the opportunity to do any practicing really during the week. So it's a lot for James to overcome to catch Grant Langston here on the number 8.
Well, it sure could be, because Langston looks like he's putting in one of his best rides of the entire motocross championship this summer. Kevin Windham having another good ride here early in the second moto. We'll see if these guys can hold on to those lead positions. And let's take a look at the progressive direct hole shot replay. In that mess in the first turn somewhere, James Stewart's in there. That's what caused him to get such a bad start here in the second moto.
And it's given him quite a challenge, because he's got a long way to go to catch Grant Langston. He'd fallen all the way back to almost 20th. and has been working his way up through the field.
Langston having a lot of success here, second moto. He's been on that new 2008 Yamaha 450.
We'll see if it's enough to get him a win here in moto number 2. Washougal, Washington. They've been holding national motocross races here since 1980. Grant Langston on the number 8, hoping to add his name to the winners list. Comes the rest of the field chasing him, including the number 9 Makita Suzuki of Ivan Tedesco.
And you can see the top 6 riders. You can throw a blanket over those guys. It's a really tight battle there. Here comes James Stewart. After that bad start, see him pulling some tear-offs.
Tedesco has to deal with Stewart's teammate Tim Ferry on the number 15. Ferry, of course, was second in moto number 1.
Well, Tim Ferry has been really good in the second motos. He has been so strong this summer. If anybody's going to have the most passing points, it's got to be Tim Ferry, because he's had to come from some mediocre starts just about every race, but second in the first moto today. Got to give him 22 points at this stage. I think it's going to be tight for the overall here today, Ralph.
So Windham, Millsaps, Short, Tedesco, and then Ferry.
As they drag race up this huge uphill at Washougal, so much roost comes off the back of these 450s, you have to take a different line, because the dirt here is a pretty hard base. Lot of roost. Most of the riders are pretty bruised up after this event on their arms and chest areas.
Jeff, the dirt looks nice and rich. Why is there not a lot of traction here?
Just because it has such a hard base, and underneath you see all those light spots. It's all shiny there, and there is just no traction. But I think that's one of the special things about this track. I think that's what makes it so difficult, but also when you're dialed in and you really got the bike working good, and when you're really riding well, that's why you excel over the other riders.
Ivan Tedesco on the number 9, one of the riders you heard Aaron talking about at the beginning of the show. A lot of rumors about where he's going to end up next year. Sounds like it's not going to be on a Suzuki.
Not going to be on a Suzuki. Going to factory Honda here, so right now he's trying to close in on his future teammate Andrew Short. Maybe he'll jump on the back of Short's bike, ride the Honda in, right?
Tim Ferry, meanwhile, very solid in Kawasaki. Boy, the Monster Energy Kawasaki guys have to be thrilled with the addition of Tim Ferry to their rider lineup alongside of James Stewart, the way he's performed this year, both on the Supercross Tour and the Motocross Series.
You know, when you talk about how well Tim Ferry's been as he gets past Ivan Tedesco here, there is such a chemistry that has to develop between the rider and the bike and the team. And this year, Ivan Tedesco has just not had that chemistry with Makita Suzuki that he was hoping for. And so for Ivan, it was time to make a change. And for Suzuki, it was time to make a change. But, you know, I think that they've had, a lot of success. They both are very strong entities within the sport, and they both have good futures.
Both those riders trying to catch up to Andrew Short, who sits just in front of the 15 of Tim Ferry. Ferry, the veteran rider, just getting quicker and quicker with age.
That's for sure, Ralph. Last year at this time, he was riding Moto XXX. Career was kind of in limbo. Wasn't really sure where he was going with it. Had been a factory rider for many years, then was on one of the privateer support teams. Kawasaki gave him an opportunity this year, and he's made the most of it. And I'm sure that riding alongside James Stewart, learning from him, the red dog, the old dog, learning new tricks, definitely been part of it.
Andrew Short continues to chase Grant Langston along with everybody else here at Washougal.
Do you ever have
To the Unbound Energy Washougal National, Grant Langston is leading here. Jeff, they've made some changes to this track over the years, and one of the most famous changes is taking out the Chuck Sun jump.
And that used to be in this section right here where they're at, where the corner is. Used to be this huge tabletop named after Chuck Sun, the rising sun, where on a 500cc two-stroke, his throttle stuck. He jumped all the way to the turn, had this horrendous crash, but it is no longer a part of the racetrack here at Washougal, but we definitely remember all of the outstanding rides that Chuck Sun gave us.
Tim Ferry trying to put together a pretty good ride as well in fifth. The battle for third is a real good one. Davi Millsaps and his Honda-mounted teammate Andrew Short fighting over that position, and Ferry closing in on him.
Oh yeah, the Honda boys have the Kawasaki rider Tim Ferry breathing down their neck, and it makes it tough because Short is maybe trying to make a pass. You see him taking a different line, trying it outside. That could allow Ferry to take the inside. This is motocross racing at its best right here at Washougal. Davi Millsaps had that awesome ride at the first moto in Lakewood, Colorado last week. The second moto, he fell off the pace. And lately, Ralph, in motocross, it seems like if you're not in condition, if you fade in a moto, it's been so taboo to do that. But yet I think that Davi Millsaps, by winning that moto, that was just outstanding, and it really showed a lot of promise for the future. So I'd like to see more of these riders leave it all out on the table, not worry about the whole moto. These guys got to try to win races.
James Stewart trying to do that, trying to work through the field. He's got Tedesco in his sights, coming up the inside. And we saw Short get around Millsaps, and now Ferry does the same, and here comes Stewart. Boy, James is really making up some ground in a hurry.
James Stewart is on the gas at this point. He's came from a long ways back on a track that could be considered a little bit hard to pass. He is blistering right now. This is a top group of riders. He's up into the top 5.
There's Short running in second.
And that's what I think has given these riders some encouragement with Carmichael being out of this championship. It's changed the mentality of the racers. Grant Langston right now, he's going to leave it all out on the table today. He's not worried about pacing himself or staying. He's going out to win the race. And I think that the whole landscape of this class is changing here in the last month.
And Stewart right on to his teammate now. Stewart giving Ferry all he can handle. Stewart taking a big twist of the throttle, run that rear wheel all the way down the hill.
These riders are battling for the overall. Ferry was second in the first moto, but that's 22 points. 25 points went to Stewart for winning the moto. So as they stand right now, Stewart is in the position to win the overall.
The Monster Kawasaki teammates running together here at Washougal. This is a fight for fourth. Honda teammates just in front of him. Oh, Ferry with a bit of a bobble there.
Yeah, that's a tricky section, a rhythm section there, and as this track changes to get some holes, some square edges in there, it's even pretty slippery. You see Stewart really losing the rear end there, sliding out on him. Stewart's really charging hard and goes around the outside of Ferry. Nice move, James Stewart.
Stewart kept the momentum up on the high side of the racetrack. Whoa, Short almost has a problem. We'll be right back for more Moto 2 after these words. Round number 8, the AMA Toyota Motocross Series. Ralph Shaheen and Jeff Emmick with you, and Aaron Bates covering the action down in the pit area here today. Everybody's been chasing Grant Langston for the majority of this moto. Moto number 1 was all about that guy, the number 7 of James Stewart. He is the series points leader. Won the Supercross championship earlier this year and trying to take the 2 biggest titles in motocross this season.
Let's take a look at this replay. This is how James Stewart got around his teammate Tim Ferry. Uses a different line. Watch him ride the wall here. Rockets around the outside.
And he continues to charge towards Andrew Short now.
Late in the moto here is when that physical conditioning comes into play. Andrew Short has been really good. And look at James Stewart.
Jeff, that was all power right there.
Definitely an aggressive move by James. He is just charging to the front of this pack from a pretty bad start.
That was all power over that big blind jump. Stewart just came right after him. Well, Andrew Short doesn't look like he's necessarily done. He's trying to give chase and hanging on as best he can to the backside of Stewart.
Andrew Short, though, starting out this year, he was injured and has had to race himself into condition here throughout the Motocross Championship. And each and every week he keeps getting better. His speed is definitely there. His conditioning is there now. Right now he's in the middle of a Kawasaki sandwich.
How tough is it for Stewart not to get into as much training as he's used to during the middle of the week?
Well, it's not that bad if it's only a couple weeks. If it's an extended term, then it's a problem. But if it's only a couple of weeks, it's that foundation that you've laid. You always talk about it's the work that I did a month ago or 2 months ago is what I'm riding on now. So he'll get by.
James always seems to find a way to overcome difficulties, doesn't he?
Well, he does that a lot of the time with talent. So many of the past champions and great riders just talk about how talented and how fast this rider is, and he's just brought a new level of speed and aggression to the sport that we've really never seen before. He's got some other issues of his program that he has to work on here and there, but man, this is one incredible rider that we're watching on the number 7 bike.
As we mentioned, he won the Supercross Championship earlier this year. He actually won the AMA and the World Supercross Championships. So those 2 titles already in the back pocket this year. Now looking for the outdoor title as well here in the Toyota Motocross Championship.
We'll remind everybody that James Stewart is riding with an injured neck, back, shoulder area from a terrible crash that he had at Unadilla early in the practice on Sunday morning. Didn't even compete that weekend. Came back last weekend in Lakewood and had a really strong ride there, riding injured once again.
Speaking of strong rides, well, it's been a good one for Grant Langston. Folks at Yamaha can be real pleased with this effort.
Well, Yamaha's been working hard to get their 450 program up to speed. Kawasaki has been really dominant this year. Of course, Ricky Carmichael and Makita Suzuki have also.
We'll be right back to see if the Yamaha rider can get a win here in Washougal. Where the high-revving, tire-shredding, wheel-standing, two-wheeled action returns for an all-new season. Superbikes, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, only on Speed. Well, earlier we talked about Chuck's son and racetrack here at Washougal. Well, guess what? We went back in the vaults and look at the footage we found from back in 1981. As we said, they've been holding races here since 1980. This was the 1981 Outdoor National. There's Chuck right there on the number 1. He was the defending 500cc AMA Motocross champion. And he battled all the way from last to first in the second moto to overtake Yamaha's Brock Glover. But watch this. Wow, that was a huge wreck.
And that's what the Chuck Son jump was named after, was that specific incident there where his throttle stuck. Whew.
It was on the very last lap, 1 corner from the finish. We get back to the racing action here where the race leader is Yamaha's Grant Langston as we watch from the Honda Skycam. Now, just to take it a little bit further, promoters made changes to the track here in 2007 to kind of help open up the infield as well, to give a little breathing room for the spectators and the vendors.
And that's the section that we're coming through right here. This is where the Chuck Son jump used to be. Now it's gone. There's a turn there that shortened all of that up.
Jeff, one of the other things we were talking about with that video is the depth of the racetrack has changed a lot since then.
Yeah, the topsoil in some of the racing lines, you've seen on that video from earlier that the track was flat. Now the track's really dug into the ground here.
Tim Ferry hanging in there on the Monster Energy Kawasaki, battling along with Andrew Short on the number 29 Honda. James Stewart has distanced himself from these two, but Kenny Cole, look at Ferry. Ferry with a nice move. And again, the power of the Kawasaki making the difference.
Tim Ferry really got to drive through the rhythm section. Just out-jumped Andrew Short. Still charging to the front like Ferry's done all summer long.
Andrew seems to be withering a little bit here in Moto number 2.
Seeing Andrew taking a little look back, seeing how much comfort zone he has. Grant Langston, though, he's not looking back at all. He's just moving forward.
And how about Kevin Windham? We haven't talked much about Kevin here in Moto number 2, but Windham has done a very good job. He's staying at the pace of Langston. He's got a nice gap between him and Stewart.
Yeah, Windham was 6th in the first moto. Has definitely improved that. Has a solid second place going right now. We'll have to see if James Stewart's going to be able to get out of 3rd and move up into those top 2 positions.
Let's go back and see with James Stewart here. In the pass by Ferry.
See Ferry really launching through here. Just gets a wheel on Short. Short has to back out of it. Ferry blows by on the outside.
Well, the laps continue to wind down here in Washougal, Washington. Grant Langston in the factory Yamaha continues to lead here in the Pacific Northwest.
What am I?
The Toyota Motocross Series. Grant Langston on the number 8 continues to lead as we watch from our Honda Skycam.
And Grant Langston and Team Yamaha keep working hard this summer, working with this new bike, the 2008, showing a lot of success here. Could be a sign of the future that Yamaha is going to have some wins in the premier class.
You saw the 14 of Kevin Windham go by. He is in 2nd. Here's 3rd, James Stewart. How much better do you think that 2008 bike is? Where's the big difference?
Well, I haven't had a chance to ride it, but Grant Langston showing us that it definitely has some changes made to it. And one of the things that they didn't like about the 07 was that the bike didn't turn, that it wanted to go straight. And the 08, he says, really you can lean the bike in, get the bike turned around, which is a huge improvement.
Ferry running along on the 15, still chasing his teammate James Stewart. The series is going to move on to Millville, Minnesota next week. Make sure you join us for our same-day coverage here on Speed of that one.
And you definitely don't want to miss that one because the great Ricky Carmichael will have his last ride in AMA motocross competition, not to be missed.
Tim Ferry working his way past the 5.56 of Jerry Lineburner from Fairbanks, Alaska, and doing the best he can to stay in contact with James Stewart, which is a hard thing to do.
See Ferry just finishing up the second moto here, strong and consistent like he's been all year. And he has been so steady and steadily closing up the points gap between his teammate James Stewart and himself. Stewart having a lot of problems lately.
Seems like James put so much into the Supercross season. All of his focus was on winning those 2 championships. And it had to have been tough for him to get re-energized for the outdoor motocross season.
Well, there's no doubt that it's a long series and it takes a toll on your body. And Stewart has been so great to be able to ride through these injuries. He missed Unadilla because he crashed on that day, but awesome rides since then. And that's what it takes when you want to be champion. Sometimes you have to ride through the pain.
Well, he has certainly done that. And with Carmichael again not being here, James will pad his points lead. Although the battle for second is going to be very interesting at least, because guys like Langston and Ferry and riders like that all scoring good points here again this weekend.
You know, the battle for the overall is still fairly tight. One little mistake by any of these riders could really change things up. Langston having a fantastic ride. And remember, this could be his first moto win in the premier class.
And with this new motorcycle running this well, it's got to give the folks in Yamaha a lot of confidence. because the motocross, supercross seasons never really end. They just kind of roll back into the next one. And the Supercross season right around the corner, Yamaha's got to feel very good about this new motorcycle.
Oh, and it's going to do a lot for Grant Langston's confidence. He's got to feel good about this. Kind of lets him know that his program, that he's really got things headed in the right direction. Same thing with Kevin Windham, really having a good ride.
The laps wind down. Can Stewart reel them in? Stay with us to find out here on Speed.
Do you ever...
Here at Washougal, that's James Stewart on the ground being attended to by the medical crew and one of the Kawasaki mechanics. James Stewart has just crashed. Watch this, Jeff.
Take a look at the replay. Stewart coming through on the inside, little sweeper, has his leg out. The front wheel hits a rock, washes the front wheel out, and what happens? He puts his foot down, starts grabbing his knee, his left leg immediately.
There's that rock. You can see it just lift that front wheel up, and oh, his leg bending in a direction it's not meant to go. James is down. There is some of the members of the Asterisk medical crew attending to him, and that left knee is the focus of their attention.
What a development here.
That's Doc Bodner in the glasses right there. Mike Fisher, the team manager from Kawasaki, in the hat right behind him.
And so that's going to change everything, Ralph. Stewart was the winner of the first moto. We're going to have to start adding up points to see who is in position at this point to be the overall winner here today.
Not only that, but we got to start adding up injuries on James Stewart and how much of a beating can he take and still hold on to this championship.
Well, and the benefactor today is going to be Tim Ferry, who's second of the active riders in points going into today.
Wow, what an amazing twist of fate here at Washougal for James Stewart. And his hopes of winning the motocross championship this year. This motocross season for James has just been one of those years that you thought he kind of had shaken all this. For years, his career had kind of been known for having oddball things like that happen, and him having to fight through it as we're on the last lap with Langston out in front. Windham going to get a nice second place finish here if he can hang on. What's he slowing down for?
We're at the white flag. It looked like Kevin Windham was kind of wheeling through that rhythm section.
Took his hands off, his left hand off for sure. And Windham is just rolling along.
Windham is definitely slowed.
You saw the 90 of Cole Siebler go by, and there goes Ferry.
You know what? I'm not sure. Kevin Windham might have made a mistake right now.
He didn't think that was a checkered flag, did he? Because now he's back on the gas.
He's back on the gas. You know, I think every rider sometime in their career has made that mistake, and it looks like Kevin Windham has done that here today, mistaken the white flag or the checkered for the white flag.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. Windham with a very hard-earned second place is just gonna let it slip away to Tim Ferry. And Ferry, he's not slowing down by any means to let him have it back. Ferry's really gonna benefit here, Jeff. He's gonna benefit from the crash of his teammate and the major mental mistake of Kevin Windham.
Now before that, assuming that the riders were going to finish in the order of Langston, Windham, Ferry, Ferry would have ended up with 42 points on the day. Grant Langston, 43. Grant Langston would have been your overall winner. Now everything's switched up. That's going to allow, as it sets right now, Tim Ferry to be the overall winner.
2 second place finishes in the two motos will give him the overall. What a difference that 1 point with that one position is going to make.
That one position is going to give Ferry 44 points on the day as opposed to the 42.
What a gift from Kevin Windham to Tim Ferry. And Langston still, Jeff, is going to have a great day getting his first moto win here in the motocross class and a big momentum boost for Yamaha.
A great day. What he doesn't know is that Windham just cost him the overall here today at Washougal.
checkered flag, the real checkered flag, waves for Grant Langston. Where's Ferry? Waiting, here he comes. He's going to take second, almost loses it at the finish line. He's going to get the overall, and now Kevin Windham is going to really see the checkered flag, but he's going to see nothing but red out of frustration. And James Stewart, one has to wonder as Langston comes by to check on him how everything is with James Stewart. We'll be right back to Washington.
The great
AMA racing action. Want to relive the excitement? Watch all the 2007 AMA Supercross and Superbike events on Speed, on demand, online. And it's all free, courtesy of Yamaha. So log on now to speedtv.com, keyword Yamaha, and get up to speed. All the riders on the track are AMA members. Are you? If not, call 1-800-AMA-JOIN or visit AMADirectLink.com. AMA, rights, riding, and racing. Wow, what a finish to Moto number 2 here at Washougal. There's Tim Ferry, and he is going to be your overall winner here today. Grant Langston takes the Moto win, and Kevin Windham on the 14 still trying to figure out how he missed the white flag. James Stewart wondering how bad his knee is hurt. Some of these other riders took a beating in their wallet, Jeff. A lot of bonus money left on the table today.
Yeah, that mistake by Kevin Windham is going to cost Grant Langston the overall and huge bonus check, 50 to 100 grand for sure.
You see our Toyota trucks results, and we head to the winner's podium. Here's Aaron.
Grant, it's been a long time waiting for this. Obviously overjoyed, but for a moment there, I think you thought you had the overall win. Is that right?
Yeah, I thought I had it. I didn't know that Kevin disappeared on the last lap, but you know, I can't control what happens behind me. I'm just really happy to win the moto. My ankle was killing me. I think I just rode on adrenaline, and you know, we just got on the 08 bike, and it's been working good, and I just knew with a decent start I'd be up there. It's been a frustrating couple of weeks, and I'm stoked to be up here.
And he should be. There he takes the overall win, but look at how close it is. At 2-2-4-1, a difference of 1 point between Langston and Ferry.
Doesn't get much closer than that. We had a great battle for the podium here today.
Back to the podium we go. Here's Aaron.
You can consider an emotional day for Tim Ferry with only having 2 overall wins, making this the 3rd. At the beginning of the season, you thought your career was over and done with, and here you are back up on top. What's going through your head right now?
You know, I can't even explain it. I'm not even quite sure. I haven't won an overall since 01, and I've had some good rides lately, but some bonehead moves at the same time, and I was just a consistent ride. I didn't ride stellar to second moto, but I was there when it counted, and I'm totally excited. I can't even believe this.
Well, as we take a look at the points, you got James Stewart at 290 and Tim Ferry at 283. Weekend off, Stewart may have a chance to get that knee healthy before Millville, but if not, Tim Ferry's going to take over this points lead real quick.
Kawasaki could still win this championship, but it might not be the guy they expected. Well, it's been a wild one here in Moto 2 at Washougal. We head to Millville, Minnesota. Make sure you join us here on Speed for same-day coverage. You don't want to miss it. 6 p.m. Eastern Time, August 12th. That's going to be a great one, and Ricky Carmichael will be back to make it even more exciting. For Aaron Bates and Jeff Emig, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Washougal. Congratulations to Tim Ferry.